actually had something,
Yeah.
thought I had something in here.
An extra M.
Yeah, exactly.
This just
All
pages.
right, ready? All right, it's 6 o'clock on November 9th. I'd like to call the Planning Commission of Oak Park Heights to order. Please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, we should all have this yellow page that has the agenda for tonight on it. There are a few on the back table if anybody doesn't have one and would like one. If there's any discussion, or I would entertain a motion to approve the agenda.
Second.
I have a motion and approval. Do we have any additional discussion?
Motion and a second.
Yep. I got a second. Motion, second. Hearing none, all those in favor say aye. Aye. All right, so then we've got our October 12th Planning Commission meeting minutes. There was one amendment. It looks like we put an extra M in Commissioner Kramer's name, so it looks like that was adjusted. Did anybody see anything else?
Just in that one spot, though.
Yeah, everything else looked good.
Yeah, I didn't have anything.
I think she did it intentionally, just to.
She just wanted to make sure everyone was reading their minutes, so.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Do I have a motion to
Move
approve?
to approve.
I got a motion and a second. Any other discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Awesome. Motion passed. Department, Commission Liaison, any other reports tonight?
I have nothing.
Anything?
I can go over updates from the city council meeting, if
Yeah,
you'd like.
great.
Yeah, it was a pretty straightforward council meeting on October 24th. Approved the house pause that was considered here previously, and also bought a Kubota tractor. So, pretty routine stuff.
Exciting. Hopefully we don't have to use it to shovel snow this winter.
Cross our fingers, right?
All right. We'll move on to visitor and public comment. So this is an opportunity for the public to address the commission. This is for with questions or comments on issues that are or are not part of the regular agenda. Please limit your comments to 3 minutes in length. Okay, seeing it doesn't look like we have any of our visitors that want to make any comments tonight, we'll move on to the public hearing. Tonight, we've got one from XL Energy to review and consider their conditional use permit to allow for a 10-foot security fence and screening for the substation located at 5789 Stagecoach Trail.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Brian Sullivan of Excel Energy has made the application for the conditional use permit. As the chair said, 10-foot security and screening fence. The fence will be constructed of wood along the north, west, and south sides of the substation. The gate will be at the southeast corner. At the east side of the substation, so facing toward the river, 10-foot black chain link fence will be installed. Property is zoned open space, conservation, electrical substations are permitted use. The conditional use permit is required because the ordinance states 8 feet, and they're requesting 10 feet for the security purposes. And also it's going to increase the screening on the site. The ordinance is interesting in it more or less just references city council approval. So this dates back yet to Eric, and Eric and I agreed that let's just take it to a conditional use permit. Because the ordinance, it's probably something, we should put a notation on and clean up some of that
Yeah.
down the road. We run into these once in a while where we need to do that. Mr. Sullivan has provided a background of the request, and he's here this evening. The comprehensive plan designates this area as a land use of industrial. In the case of this substation, the property to the north, west, and south are zoned for residential use, and the zoning to the east is industrial. Again, as I stated, the CUP is required for the variation to go from 8 to 10 feet. Excel, if you look at the pictures, there's a chain link fencing. It's probably about 6 foot chain link around the south side of the substation. They're going to remove that, and they're no longer going to use that area for storage. They've probably been storing wire spools or whatever the case might be. It won't be used for that. But if Excel determines that down the road they need to put screening back up, they'll have to come back to the city for city review. Parking, obviously the substation doesn't have employees. There's room for people though that need to access the site, at least staff, Excel staff. Lighting, security lighting is provided but not activated unless needed for emergency repairs. If there is any additional lighting that they want to utilize, they'll have to just comply with building ordinance requirements. Trees and screening, the ordinance requires either landscaping or fencing. I asked, maybe as part of your discussion, you can talk about any additional trees. Although one thing to note is that on the west side of the substation, that's pretty much right at the property line. So all that you could really add is maybe some trees on the north and south. And again, it's not an ordinance requirement, but it's just something that I'm putting up. Do not see issues with this. We think it's positive. The fence height currently is around 7-8 feet, and you go to 10 feet, so it is going to increase that screening. And obviously, they mainly want this for security purposes, which is in their best interest. So, with that, I have some conditions for you to consider that staff recommends favorably.
Thank you, Mr. Richards. Does the applicant want to say anything? Just state your name and tell us who you are. And,
Okay.
yeah.
Hi, I'm Brian Sullivan. I'm with Excel Energy. I'm their siting and land rights group, the real estate portion of the company. It's the simplest way of stating it. And we're here before you tonight to ask for permission to build a 10-foot tall fence. And I can give you a little bit of background on why we've gone to 10 feet. I guess like 4 or 5 years ago, there's been kind of a spike in people intruding into some facilities. It's kind of nationwide, and so the company decided they hired a consultant to look at how best to secure our facilities. And it goes to our substations, our gas regulator stations, our plants. It's kind of all of our facilities that carry either gas or electric for the company there. And they had kind of 3 or 4 kind of criteria that they looked at. And the first criteria that they looked at is height. And what they found is that the 6-foot fence with barbed wire on that is pretty easy for like a high school kid to crawl over. That top of that, you can throw a blanket over the top of that and scoot up over the top of it and crawl inside that. So we're trying to protect the facilities from ne'er-do-wells and also the curious kids. I guess that's maybe the best way of saying that, and I'm probably not saying that politically correctly or whatever, but so what they found is that by going from up to 10 feet high, it's a pretty significant height to get up to that, and the chain link fences, instead of the 2-inch grid, they've gone down to a 1-inch grid. And what that does is that 1-inch grid makes it very hard to get your toes in. You can get your fingers in, you can crawl up, but you have to be a pretty good athlete to get up that height there. So that's kind of like the first level of security. And that's what they're really proposing here is that first level of security, just to keep the curious people out from getting inside that. The other security measures that they look at is they'd like to be able to see into it. And so, and that's for first responders and for us. If something's going on inside there, they don't want to open the gate up and then be exposed to something that they don't want to see. So that's why the gate that we're proposing is a gate that is chain link, so they can see what's going on inside the substation prior to entering that. And preferably, they'd like to have chain link fence all the way around the site, but we understand there's concerns and the need for some screening there, and that's, we've acquiesced to that for here, and then so that's basically it. And then from there, everything goes from there to more robust security fences and all that. But that's why we're here, is just to bring this up to our current standard, which is trying to keep people from entering into the site.
Perfect. Thank you for the clarification and explanation. Do you have any questions, guys?
I do.
Go ahead, Mr. Carpenter.
The chain link fence, the black 1-inch chain link fence is going to be along that whole east side?
Yes.
Who's going to see that? I mean, other than the people down the highway? I mean, there's no road there.
No.
I mean, I can understand that first responders coming up to the site want to be able to see
I
it
see
there,
what you're
but
saying. Yeah, no, but they prefer to, well, I understand what you're saying, but they would like to keep it as open as possible. So there may be other people coming in from other directions too. I can't explain.
I went out there and looked at it today, and private property to the east.
Right.
You guys don't own that,
No.
and there's no street there. I
Right.
don't know why, unless, I suppose the chain link is probably more cost effective than the wood fence would be.
I'm sure it
Oh,
is,
well,
yes.
then that's a really good reason.
So anyway, we prefer to have it, they'd like to have it as open as possible, so we're going with the chain, we'd like to go with the chain link fence.
So the chain link fence is there now, has the inserts,
Yeah, we're going away with that, because that's,
none of that, just going to be just regular black
Yeah.
coated chain link, okay. And the gate is going to be chain link?
correct.
Okay, so that's right in that southeast corner, same place as the one that's out there?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And there's that, there used to be a storage yard there that has some fencing around that, just to the south side of that, that's going away.
It's still there, because
Yeah.
there were a couple of guys parking their trailer in there, with the people that do the landscaping and
Oh, the-
seeding and all that
Yeah,
stuff. And
the veg management people.
yeah, I
they'll
told him
show-
what I was
they'll show
out there
the
for, and he
signs.
said, well,
Yeah.
is it going to be okay to leave my truck and trailer in there? I said, don't ask me, but I said, it's not going to be approved tonight.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Yeah. Then there's another building, or it's a container that's sitting on the property further south with it's got like a little garage door, but it's just like a storage container. Is that, I mean, it's just sitting on the ground, so it's not,
To
is
be
it
honest,
yours or is it the neighbors? I mean, you own that property,
to
but
be honest, I'm not sure if
Okay.
it's ours or the neighbors, to be.
not part of this proposal, I don't.
No.
Okay,
No.
thank you.
Yeah, Julie and I discussed that little container, and she said, Scott, should we have this screener going? It's just a little metal box.
And it's sitting right on the ground. I mean, it looks like they could grab it and drag it.
Could be a temporary structure that comes and goes depending on the.
Yeah.
So we didn't see a concern with it.
Yeah.
It's maintained, it's painted, so.
Yep.
I had a question. Do you know, is it preferable not to have screening with trees and bushes and things around that fence so there's a clear sight?
Our security people get a little hinky when we start to propose plantings up around the fence.
Sure.
And part of it is that they don't like animals get inside there, so that provides a way for just animals, squirrels. I'm just making this up, but squirrels, they don't want squirrels in there because there's a
Lot of
there's an urban myth, I don't know if it's true or not, but now they'll get in there and they'll shock themselves and they'll throw out the substation. I don't know if that's true or not, but they don't want animals. They don't want animals inside the substation. So
People are animals, huh?
yeah, people are animals. Yeah. So because seriously, it's very dangerous in there. I don't have permissions to go. You used to be able to go into them, but now you have to take special training. They have special clothing on.
Oh, really?
And so it's just really dangerous to be inside there. So it's, and as I've heard more about how dangerous it is, it's like I don't really want to go in there anymore. So it's a dangerous spot.
From a screening standpoint, because of the elevation of the road that's on the west side, Stagecoach, you could have a fence that was 20 feet tall and you're still going to be able to see in there. Right? I mean, nothing you can do can screen that thing because that road is so doggone high that, you'll be able to look right over it on that. When you make it a 10-foot fence on the west side of the property, the cars will, because it's not at street level. The fence is down
Down a little bit, yeah.
probably 10 feet.
But
So
they're
you're-
really looking at security less than
Right,
screening in this
right,
situation.
right.
So I think that's the takeaway
Yep.
with the proposal.
The other thing is, if you just look at what's behind the 10-foot is,
Pretty tall.
is pretty tall.
Yep, yeah.
I think that the taller the fence, the better, and I think it's good for anybody that drives by. It just looks better than
Yeah.
the way it is now.
I think the only question is does the squirrel fence go above the 10 feet, or is the squirrel fence included in the 10 feet?
It's in the 10 feet, yeah.
Okay. Fair enough.
Anything else for the applicant? Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yep.
All right, 6:15, I would entertain a motion to close the public hearing.
So move.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Do I have any additional discussion? All those in favor say aye.
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 I'd like to move to approve, unless there's more discussion, with the conditions that are listed in the report.
I have a motion to approve.
Second.
I have a second. I'll call for discussion. Mr. Richards?
So on the second one, I just throw that in to state the planning commission should discuss the need for new landscaping for the site. And I think we can probably strike that.
I think-
Yeah, that's
I think the logic behind the animals getting in the fence, I think the perspective of we want to keep it, it's a security screening more than a decorative screening in this situation due to it is a dangerous environment on the inside.
Yeah, I agree with him about the idea of any landscaping on the outside isn't going to make it look any better, and it's all it's going to do is make it more suspect of animals being able to get over the fence.
It's more
Seems to me
maintenance
that's
to
a-
keep it away from the fence, away
Right.
from the wires, away from
Yeah.
the stuff. So
Yeah.
it's like,
Exactly.
Nope.
strike it.
Question also, Tim made the motion,
Yep.
and then I didn't hear who made the second. It was
Okay.
Judy.
2 or 3 of them did.
I don't know. Somebody just pick somebody.
It's Jim this time.
So based on our discussion, I would entertain a friendly amendment to strike.
I would amend my motion if the second will agree with it.
I will agree with it.
Okay,
So-
so we have an amended motion and a second. Do we have any other additional discussion?
I think we should add, not necessarily to the motion, but we should add a footnote to the city council saying that the whole provisions under screening and our screening our ordinance should be evaluated in light of these kinds of issues. Because what's ending up happening is they're getting a conditional use permit for something that is phenomenally beneficial rather than
Yep.
for the city as well as for them. And I'm not sure that that should be something that is not, I think it's something that should be included in the ordinance or that the ordinance should allow for without a conditional use.
Okay.
I agree.
Yeah. We can have a comment added,
Yeah.
but I don't think that's
Nothing
part of the
about bike-
motion. That's just a
bike
comment.
racks or anything?
So, all right, I would entertain a motion. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign.
Thanks.
Motion passes. So this will go before the city council for final approval. We just make recommendations to the city council. So that meeting will be happening on, I'll find it for you,
November 28th.
November 28th. So the weekend after, the week after Thanksgiving. So they'll make final approval. So thank you. All right, moving on, we have new business. It looks like you guys on the back of your packet should have a schedule for 2024 commission and representative schedule. It looks like Commissioner Husby's got January, Mr. Kramer's got February, Mr. Freeman's got the March, Ms. Van Dyke in April, and myself in May. And then we'll continue down the path from there.
Well, that's after, I think it was after the council has a chance to adopt their calendar, which they haven't done yet. So-
Yeah, so
That
we're waiting.
and appointments of the planning commission may change by then.
In May. Yep, planning commission changes.
Any
in May.
luck?
We'll see. Yep, May term accumulations will change. So, I mean, these aren't the exact dates, they're just months at this point, so just to be aware. Is there any other new business?
So there's not a council representative in December? I feel like,
They may not
Upcoming-
have, they may not have a meeting.
Probably forgot.
because we kind of
Put that in
skipped to January, and then the January date on the yellow page does not match the January.
Jacob, do you know, did they?
Different Januaries.
cancel the second meeting?
We have not canceled the second meeting yet, but I think in looking at the calendar, the second meeting falls pretty close to Christmas. So I would anticipate it probably would be canceled. Certainly going to have that first meeting in December.
Yeah, because then council representative, January 9th saying Vandenberg, but then the back page is saying it's 23rd and it's me. So something's not driving.
You talking about January?
Yep.
That's 2025 on the back, and 2024 on the bottom of the yellow page. 2 different years.
No, this is saying city council adopts 2024.
No, this is 2024. which
And the
is
yellow's
upcoming. Yellow is
2024.
I was looking at this.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're too far down.
We're not
Just a year
voting to
ahead.
approve these. I think we should send this back to Julie to get alignment, and we'll go with what's on the agenda for now, if that works. Ms. Van Dyke, can you attend the January 28th? And then I'll plan on January 9th, and we'll, if we have a commission meeting in December, we'll find someone to attend in December.
Yeah, we'll get things squared away, Mr. Chair.
Move to approve, or move to adjourn.
Well, we gotta go to old business,
No, we don't.
then we gotta do informational. Then we can go to, do we have a
Are we
motion to
doing
adjourn?
informational?
Do we have any additional informational?
So moved.
Okay, we
I
got
don't think that's debatable, is it?
Yeah, got a motion to adjourn. I haven't heard a second though.
I
Second it.
Oh, seconds. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
I don't want to leave today. 6:21, 21 minutes.
There's two or three motions to adjourn. Yet you still needed a second.
Yeah.
That's why I write it down for June.